Hello? Sir, your voice is not coming. Hello? Hello? Paman sir? Just give me 2 minutes. Let me call him.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you can. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's start with the session. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so Vivek, today we are basically going to see what are like variables, data type variables, and type of like variables we have in C Sharp. And we will discuss what is oops, okay, and static variables and constants as well. Okay, we'll start with the like oops concept first. I'm audible. My screen is visible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. As we like in the first session, we discussed C sharp is basically uh oops based language, right? It's based on oops.
Yeah.
So oops stands for object oriented programming structure or a system. Okay. So oops basically having four pillars or four principles. One is encapsulation, second is abstraction, third one is inheritance, and fourth one is polymorphism. Okay, so these are like the four pillars of the object oriented programming. So this is like same in Java, C++, C sharp, right? Okay, just give me a minute, please.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll discuss what is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, right? So we'll start with the first. What is encapsulation? Any idea what is encapsulation?
Uh, it basically prevents the data from being accessed by the code outside any point of like shield or something like that.
Okay, no, that is basically abstraction. But I'm like asking about encapsulation.
No, encapsulation is, yeah, that is encapsulation. And abstraction is hiding unnecessary data.
Right. What you said for encapsulation?
Oh, for encapsulation, it's basically, it's like a protective shield, that prevents the data from being accessed by the code outside the shield.
Okay. Okay. So generally, like we said, like what is encapsulation? Encapsulation basically it's a concept of wrapping up of data, right? So we
Okay.
basically wrap the data and into a class. Like the class supposed to be a like having a properties getter or setter. So that class is basically just going to hold the data. So that is basically encapsulation, we can say. Okay.
Mm.
For example, let's say uh, if we create a class, can you see my
Yes, I can
Visual
see your
Studio?
screen. No, no, I am seeing the whiteboard.
Okay. Okay, so last time like we did one, just let me remove this class, test class. Okay, so now I'm going to create one more class, right? Let's say person class, right? I name it as person. Okay, and so this person can have like some properties or like name, age, and address. Okay, so these are like we can say the variables for person inside the person class. So I want to create a property for name, age, and address. So it's it name. Even I can remove this for now. Simply say date, name, address. So here we can say like we have one person class is here, right? One program class is here. So person is just going to save the information about the person detail like name, age, and address. So this class is basically like acting as a encapsulation. It encapsulate the data, right? Data of a person, right? Okay, like let's
Mm.
say if I like create one method here, add person. So I need to create an object of person. It's obj. equals to new person, then obj dot name. So here name is basically a property, right? We define
Yes.
a setter getter. Set basically going to set the value. Get is basically going to return the value. So if I say name equals to double quotes John dot age, let's say 30, s equals, let's say country, USA. Okay, then even I can just for now I can like give this or create the object inside the class, not inside the method, in on the class level.
Hmm.
And I create another method, say show person detail. And finally, I'm going to call these two methods add person and show person details. So for that, we need to create instance for the project program class. Say P equals new program P dot add person and P dot show person details. So here we can see we like having a name John 30 as a age and US as address, right? So in this case, so the person class is basically it's doing the encapsulation concept. It's encapsulate the data. We encapsulate the data inside the person class, right? So let's say if other any other class is there which containing methods and or variables, same as like a program class. So program is basically not doing the encapsulation. So person is doing encapsulation, right? So both are the classes. The difference is, so this class is only containing the data. It's not performing any operation. Operation means to say any we are not creating any objects. Sorry, methods. Okay. So this is like the difference. So we have two classes. Which class is doing the encapsulation? Person class is doing the encapsulation because it is holding the data only, encapsulated the data, encapsulating the wrapping the data basically. Okay. So this class we also called model. Like if we like move into the MVC or uh, entity entity operations. So this class will act as a model. So basically, or we can also say that this is like DTO. DTO is data transfer object. We like data transfer object means, let's say uh, There is a user interface, UI. Okay, it's like having name or age, and there is one submit button. Okay, we said user ID and password. Okay, and login button. Okay, so this is like the UI, and we have like a database. We want to validate this user ID and password exist in the database, then we will like proceed with the new or we will like land to the new home page, right? So basically now the requirement is the DTO. We receive the information from the UI and we encapsulate it in class, that is like get set. Okay, this get set is for UI, user ID, and this get set is for password. Let's say this is login class. Okay, login detail class. So this login detail class only contain get and set value. Means to say when we type any username and password, so in a background, this information get populated in this login detail class, and this will be DTO, data transfer object. Then we pass this DTO object to next layer, that is called logical layer, business BL layer, business logic layer. Here we fetch the information from the DTO object and execute the logic. Okay, Vivek, you're hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear.
Okay, you are getting my point.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so so this login detail is basically like behaving or basically as a concept of encapsulation. We are encapsulating the data inside the class using getter or setter. Okay, then we are like moving up, like providing this class to the business layer. Business layer will fetch the information, process the logic. Logic can be like it will like cross check in the database this user ID or password exist, or logic can be like first they want to check the user ID is containing few like .com, password length supposed to be more than 5, something like this. This can be the business logic. Okay, or maybe one more variable exists in the login detail, that is status. That is called logging status. When we process this DTO object, then business logic will validate the user ID and password exists in database. If it exists, it will populate the status as pass. Let's say pass. If not, then fail. And based on this, again, status, we can like proceed with we want to show the, if it is fail, we want to show an error message. If it is pass, we want to like redirect to the home page. Okay, so this is basically the encapsulation concept. Okay, same case like we did, we encapsulate the person details inside the person class. The condition is only this encapsulate, this class only contain the properties, no like functions and all, no business logic, only the data. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next one is that is called abstraction. Abstraction is something like you said, like hiding the like hiding the complex information and providing the
Just hiding the unnecessary data. Yeah.
right. So hiding the unnecessary detail and providing the only the relevant information to the user or inside the logic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this abstraction is basically achieved by abstract classes.
Okay.
Abstract classes. Okay. So like here the login class is not the abstract class. So this is the encapsulation concept. We can use an encapsulation concept inside the business layer. Abstraction inside the business layer. We can abstract the complex logic. We can hide the complex logic using the abstraction, and we can provide the only the relevant information to the next one. Okay, for example, let me say take an example. Okay, I'm deleting this person class. Let's say I'm having one class that is called bank account. Okay, so account having like few functionality, uh, public, wide, create account. Okay, then add balance. Then we have display balance. Okay, and there is one more method, that is calculate interest. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to change this normal class to abstract class. Abstract. And here, like, let me say, I have variables, string, count, number, and one is int balance. In create account, I'm going to give a hard-coded value right now. Count number is 123 ABC. And balance is, let's say, $100, $1,000. In add balance, we will just update the balance. So add balance, we added one parameter. So when we call this add balance, we will pass an integer amount. So it will get added in this balance. Okay, and display balance means we are just going to Is account number. Okay, so these are like the general methods: create account, add balance, display balance. So main logic is calculate interest. I want to hide this calculate interest from inside the account, bank account. Okay, so I just say I will make a calculate interest as abstract method. We'll discuss this, what is abstract method. So abstract method is basically like we are doing the abstraction here. We will override this functional function, or we can say we have bank account, and this bank account having three features. One is add account, update balance, show balance, and calculate interest. Right? So I want to hide this, like we are saying, abstraction is basically hiding the complex code or hiding the complexity. So this is, we can say, I want to hide this calculate interest calculation. So this bank account class, or we can say this bank having a two type of account: saving account or current account. Okay, so saving account having like their logic to calculate the interest, current account having like their different logic to calculate the interest. So I want to hide this in the bank account and want to want to give an option. Saving account will write their own custom logic for calculate the interest, right? So I will like create this calculate interest as an abstract method, and this a class also abstract class. Okay, now I'm going to create here. We can create class inside this namespace as well, or you can also create a different class as well. Let me create a different one. Saving account. So I'm going to inherit this bank account class. Okay. So I need to see implement the abstract method here. I'm just going to just write the message only. Logic of for interest in saving account. Okay, you can write the custom logic to calculate the interest, and you can also update the balance. Or we can say I want to give like 3% of interest. Okay. So I just calculate the interest. See. Okay. So this is like the custom logic for saving account. And let me create one more class, that is current account. Here I'm also inheriting the same account class, bank account class, and implement the method. So here I'm saying balance minus equals fee. Okay, so there is no interest we are not going to calculate or not calculating any interest on the saving on the current account. We basically deducting $50 from the balance as a fee. Okay, so in this scenario basically we hide the calculation for calculate interest method. Okay, inside the bank account. So basically normally we everyone will going to create an instance of bank account class, so they can easily access create account, add balance, display balance. Even they will like call the calculate interest, that is like the main logic, so that is hidden from the user. So actual calculation is done inside the current account or saving account. Okay. Okay, let me create the object for, let's say I'm going to open first account. Bank account is account one, and this account will be the saving account. So I will say equals to new saving account. Okay. So account dot. So in bank account, we already, we already hard code the value for account number and a balance. So I'm not going to provide here. So I'm directly going to call this create account. Okay. Create account one dot add balance. So I'm saying going to give $200 going to add, and After adding the balance, I'm going to calculate the interest. And finally, I'm going to show the balance, display balance. Okay. I'm going to open the second account. There is account 2. And now this time it will be the current account. Same. Ah, here I'm going to pass $400. Okay. Okay. Let me differentiate it with okay. So we can see. So the initial value we have, that is 1,000. Okay. And we add in a saving account more $200. So it will be the 1,200. So based on the 1,200, saving account will calculate the 3% of interest. That comes to rounding 36. Okay. So it will balance is 1, 2, 3, 6. Let me calculate. 1,000, 12, and 36. Yes, 1236. Okay. So this is like the updated balance. For in case of current account, so again the initial value is 1,000. So in the current account, we are not calculating the interest, but here we deduct the $50. Okay, 1 second. How much amount we added? We added $400. 400,000 plus 400, that is 1,400. And in the current account, we deduct $50. So the final balance is $1,350. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So main idea is we are basically hiding the complex part in this class, bank account, or we just providing the relevant or the relevant information to the account. The complex part is hidden, and that is that is done by the abstract method. And when we like inherit this bank account class inside the saving and account current, then we override the functionality. So the complex part is inside the current account or saving account. Okay, clear? Okay. So the next one is, that is inheritance. We already like covered this. Inheritance is basically concept of parent-child relationship, and it's a concept of reusability. It's provide a feature we can reuse the function already, which is already we implemented inside the parent. Child can reuse that. Okay. So here we already did one example with abstract class. So for saving and a current account, bank account is the parent class. So we inherit that inside the current account and a saving account. Okay. Inside the saving, when we create the, okay, let me directly create the object of saving class. Here we basically creating object of account and associated with saving, right? I'm directly going to create object of saving. Let's say S equals new saving account. and let's say s dot. See, I'm having everything: trade account, display balance, calculate interest, okay, even a balance and add balance uh, variables as well. Okay, but if I look into the saving account, I have just only implemented one method, that is calculate interest, and the rest of is basically coming from their parent class, that is account. Okay, so same case with the current account class as well. So current class is only containing the calculate interest. The rest of the method will be inherited by the parent class, that is a bank account. Okay.
Okay.
So we will perform the separate example or a code for the inheritance as well. Okay, so inheritance is basically, we can say, it's a parent-child relationship between the classes, and we use the concept of inheritance to reuse the concept for the reusability. Okay, polymorphism is basically a concept of, it's a basically combination of two word poly and morphis. Okay, it's a Greek word, and polymorphism means to say a thing which exists in many form. Okay, means to say, let's say, for example, we have plus operator, right? We can add 10 plus 10. We can add 10 plus 5.5. We can do also 5.3 plus 10. We can add 5.2 plus 1.5. Okay. So here basically plus is doing the polymorphism. Plus exists in many form. Plus can add two whole numbers, one whole number, one decimal value. In this case also, like first decimal, then second whole number, or both can be the decimal value. So in this case, plus operator basically performing the polymorphism. Okay. So polymorphism in our code, in a C# programming language, we can perform the polymorphism with the two way. One is method overloading. Method overloading, and second is method overriding. Okay. Method overloading and method overriding. Method overloading is basically concept we can create a method with the same name but with the different parameters. Like let's say I want to create this scenario with my program. So how I can like generate this thing. So let's say I create one sum method. Okay. And I will perform the overloading concept. I said sum is like int x, int y. Okay. This basically represent the first operation. Second is, again, I created a second method with the same name, sum, but with the different parameter, integer x. This time I will take like float y. Okay. In the third case, float x, int y, sum, both float x, float y. Okay. So this is called overloading. I overload the sum function with different parameters. So let's say this exists in math class. Okay, I said math m dot sum. I said 10. I want to add 10 plus 5, 10 and 5. So in this case, the request will be for this method. When I said m dot sum 19.5 100. So in this case, request will be first float, second integer this. So overloading basically provide the flexibility in the application so that user can create multiple methods with the different parameter, and the end user only need to remember the one method, that is sum. Okay. So this
Okay.
is like this is the overloading, and the overriding is basically a dynamic polymorphism. We consider overriding. We can override the functions like we already did here. On the runtime, when we execute this method, then we override the functionality. So that is only done by the abstract class or interface. So overriding is done by abstract class and interface. We will like discuss in detail what is abstract class, what is interface, right? Okay, so this is like the high level like information about what is OOPS, abstract class, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now we need to discuss the uh, two more topics. One is data type, and second is variables. This is very simple. Data type means to say what kind of the data we are going to store inside the variable. That is data type. And data type we having like integer, float, char, string, right? These all are like bytes, right? These are the data type. Basically represent what kind of data we are going to store inside the variable. Same like int age. So age is the variable name, and int basically tell us age is going to contain integer value only. 37, let's say. Okay. So if variable is like there are like list of type of variables we'll discuss. So we have like value type variable, reference type variable, ref, reference type. We have uh, static variable. We have, I have created a list, one list. Yeah, this like we have like these type of variables: value type variable, reference type variable, dynamic type variables, implicit type variables. We have nullable variable, constant and read-only variables, right? So these are like the type of variables we have. Okay, let's discuss one by one. What is value type variable? So uh, let me before like we discuss these type of variable, I want to discuss there are two type of memories we have in system. One is heap memory, second is stack memory. Okay, heap memory and stack memory. Do you have any idea about what is heap used for or stack used for?
Stack is first in, first out.
Mhm.
So whatever the memory that it comes, it gets deleted at the same time. But then for the
Okay.
heap, I'm unsure. I forgot.
Okay. So heap is basically, we can say, in simple terms, heap represent references. Okay. Stack represent values. It's a value type. Okay. Let's say uh, we create bank account class, right? And we create object of bank account equals new bank account. Okay. So object is basically stored inside the heap memory. Let's say this is the object obj. Okay. And bank account, we have two variables. One is account number and second is balance. Okay. Account number is, let's say, let's discuss only one, balance. Balance is integer, right? So whatever the value we store inside the balance basically balance type variable takes space inside the stack. This is balance 100. Okay, this is balance. And this stack is basically associated with this object, which is stored inside the heap. Okay, now let's say I create one more object, bank account obj2 equals new bank account. Now what will happen? In heap, there will be a one more object that is called obj2. This is obj2. Let me change the color. Okay. When we said equals to new bank account, obj2 equals to new bank account, a new balance will be created inside stack memory. Okay, that is 100. And now this balance is associated with this second object. Okay. Like you said, stack is basically last in, first out, right? Its behavior is LIFO.
Yeah, last and first. Yeah.
Yeah, last in, first out. Okay.
Mm.
So we insert balance. Initial value of balance is that is 100. For obj dot balance equals 100. So it will store 100 value. Then again I said obj1 obj balance equals to 500. Then I said balance equals to 1000, right? Balance is updating. So stack is like this. The initial value is 100. This is 100. Then second value is 500. Then third value is 1000. So whenever we call this balance variable, it will fetch from stack. The last value is 1000. We will receive the 1000 as output, right? So these two basically become a garbage or unused value. We cannot, I move back to 500. Let's say I want this very value as a 500. I need to again say balance equals to 500. So it will create another stack. 500. Okay. So this become like unused values in the memory. But this is associated with object. Once this object get destroyed in the memory, all the stack will also get destroyed from the memory. GC get executed. It will like flush all the unused uh, values or uh, you know the variables from the memory. Okay, clear? Vivek?
Yes, yes, I'm clear.
Okay. So when we are saying object is basically a reference type variable. Okay. When we are saying integer, character, boolean, right? Float, these all are value type variable. When value type variable store inside the stack memory and reference type variable store inside the heap memory. Object is a reference type. We have one variable that is data type variable, or we can say the data type string. String is basically a reference type variable. When we are saying string account name, right? Account name. So string is not going to take place inside the stack. It will be stored inside the heap memory. Like the account is ABC 123. It will be stored inside the stack. Sorry, in the heap. Like A, B, C, 123. Okay. But it act like a stack. It is also associated with the object. Once you like dispose the object, string is also get disposed from the memory. Okay. Uh, Clear?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay. So see, so value type is like stored inside the stack memory. It contains the actual data. Yes, a value type basically contain the actual data, and it is fast due to we having a direct access. Reference type stored inside the heap memory. It contains a reference pointer. Okay, let's discuss this point. Contains a reference or a pointer of the actual data. Let's say there is a string. This is, let's say string. There is a name John stored inside string variable in name. So it will be stored like this, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when we are like saying display name, so the first call will be name 0. So name 0 is basically having this. This is 0. It's again splitting into two part. One is called data. Second is called reference. Reference of next memory. J is a data. Reference of next memory. Let's say the actual address is this x01. This is stored on memory x02. This is x03. This is x00. When we are saying name 0 means to say we are calling x00. So there is like two blocks. One is data. X00 will return J, and it will call X01 as well. Okay, which is refer to the next memory block. And this block again having two parts. One is data, second is reference of x02. Then this is also having a reference of x03, and x03, like let's say this is the last character of the string. In the reference block, it will be null. Okay. So this is the behavior of reference type variables. Even like we are saying object is a reference, it is containing, it is pointing to the balance in the stack. Its object is basically containing the location or a pointer of the stack. Okay. Okay, clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next one is the dynamic data. Dynamic data is like this is a new kind of data which is introduced in 4.0 C Sharp 4.0. Like integer float basically restrict us to save one type of information only. Means to say in integer I cannot store characters, right? But in case of the dynamic type variable, it's allow us to hold any type of data. Any type of data means to say on the runtime it will get, compiler will uh, deduct, okay, this is integer, this is boolean, or this is a string. For the dynamic type variable, you just need to write dynamic keyword. Dynamic, let's say I said X, I can store any type kind of information. Let's say this is a string. Dynamic Y equals to, this is number. See, okay. X and Y both are dynamic, but dynamic type variable. In X, I'm storing a string type of value. In Y, I'm storing a numeric value. You can provide any kind of value to the dynamic. This type of variable you can use in that scenario when we are not sure about we are receiving what type of data from method. Okay. Next one is implicit type variable. Implicit type variable is like very commonly used. This is for we are now moving towards loose coupling format. Loose coupling format means to say if we are saying integer that is tightly bind, we are using tight binding concept. Implicit variable, when we define a variable with var keyword, var x equals to 10, that is again similar kind of dynamic. So it will be compiled, and compile time base, it will be assigned the value, means to say let's say when we execute this or compile this function, the variable we define with var. Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. So this two, like this. Okay. So you can use any, you can provide any value to var type variable as well. Okay. So when we compile this, then it will get converted this test as a string. In this case, will as string variable, or this will convert as integer. Okay, okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the next one is null label variable. Null label variable means to say if we talk about like integer, string, okay, so there is like some default values are there. For integer is default value is 0. String can be null or empty. Like let's say we have like Boolean field, so the default value is false. So so in many cases, sometimes methods return null values. So we want to make sure our variable receive null value as well. Let's say balance. If I'd say here balance is integer, it is so default value is 0. So in case if anyone initializes balance variable as a null, so it will give me error, right? Like when we are creating account, so balance is null means to say there is nothing value. So but here like system is saying we cannot convert null into string. So basically system is try to convert the null into integer value. So it's giving me error right here. So I can convert this balance as a nullable variable as well. See, now it is handling the null. I just need to add this question mark with the data type. So this variable now become a null means null type variables. Okay. So in many scenarios, sometime like API hits, you will receive a null value. So your function or your variable supposed to be capable to handle the null values. So in that case, we make the variable as a null values. So if we don't, if we do not convert this integer as a nullable variable, and the input is coming from third-party application. So if the value is null, then application will throw an exception. Will your functionality get chopped? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So the next one is constant and read only. Okay. So, any idea about like constant, what is constant and what is read only, and what is the difference between constant and read?
Yeah, so for the constant
Mm.
variables, we can assign the value once, but in the entire application, we cannot override it, and we can just read only is nothing, but we can just use it anyway. I mean, just to get access, no override or something like that.
Right, right, yeah. So, so constant variable, we basically use a keyword const, okay? And the value is defined at the compile time and cannot be changed later. Means to say when we define a constant variable, as you said, so when we define constant, we immediately supposed to provide value as well. Means I cannot do the declaration part only. Like in that case, account number and the balance, we declare it first, and inside the create account, we initialize it. But in case of const, we cannot do like this. Let's say const uh, int fee, cannot declare constant like this. See what is saying? The const field requires a value to be provided. So whenever like I am creating a constant, I supposed to immediately provide a value. Okay, once I provide this value, now I cannot modify this. If I try to modify, phi equals to, now it is 100. So what is saying? The left hand side, the assignment must be value, property should be, means to say it's saying it's supposed to be a value type now. Okay, means it's not supposed to be a constant, it's supposed to be a value type variable. Then this operation can be performed. Otherwise, with the constant, it restricts us, we cannot override the value. Okay. Okay, there is one more variable, that is static. Let's say static int new phi. So this is very common function in interviews. What is the difference between constant and static variable? Yes. Can you tell me what is the difference between constant and
I
static?
think constant we cannot override it, but then for
Mhm.
static, I think we can override it.
Right. Yes. So like when we are saying static, then what thing is basically static? Static is means
Uh,
to say also not changeable.
yeah,
Yes.
I think
Constant
we can
means.
override it only in this class.
Mhm. Let's say I initial value is new fee is 100. I
Mhm.
override this, let's say 3 times. New fee, it's 150 now. Then new fee equals to 200. System allow me to override the values. But
But I
as
think when you print it, it prints only 100, I guess.
okay, let's do it. In display. Static value is new fee. Okay. Okay, let me comment this part. Just now. Okay, I think. Okay, see, the static value is 200,
Mm.
right? So, static initial value is 100. Then I override to 150. Then final 200. So static
It's
were
taking the
very,
last value.
yeah. So it act as a stack. Okay,
Okay.
but in case if static, let's say this is static 100, then 150, and finally 200. Then what if this is the behavior? Then what is the difference between static type variable and value type variable? Both are now similar,
Mm.
right? So this is not the static behavior. So static is when we are saying static. So let's say the address location for value type variable 100, 150, 200. This is normal new fee, integer new fee. Okay, this is value type. So 100 is stored inside the address location is x01. This is x02. This is x03. Okay. LIFO again exists with I mean LIFO will work on value type. When I'm saying static int new fee, okay, and initial value is 100. Then new fee 150, new fee 200. So only one block will be created inside memory. Let's say this location is A01. Okay. So when the first time when we say new fee is 100, so at on A01 the value is 100. When I overwrite with 150, so it will be overwrite on the same address location.
Okay.
Okay. When I say 200, this will be like again get overwritten with 200. So address location is basically not changeable. So this is static. Okay. This is the one thing. And second is static is not associated with object. In the heap memory, in a heap, like we see the stack is associated with the object, but static variable is not associated with the object. It directly deal with the class name. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? Yeah. Yeah. So this is like the static concept. And the read only we can you already like tell update it. So it's a read only, we cannot change the value.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's all for today. I think we cover
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So
Is
we'll
it possible to share these notes too?
sure, I'll share this document and this screen as well. This
Okay,
screen
sure.
as well.
All right. Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Link at the end.